The morning sun was just rising when General Maya Thompson pulled into a quiet suburban street in her black SUV. She was on her way to visit her mother, a retired nurse who'd lived in the same neighborhood for 30 years. But as Maya parked outside, a police car slowly rolled up behind her. Within seconds, flashing lights painted the street red and blue. She hadn't broken a single law, yet something told her this encounter wasn't about traffic. The officer stepped out, eyes narrowed, already judging before speaking. He saw the color of her skin, not the medal she'd earned. "Ma'am, this vehicle looks suspicious," he said coldly. Maya stayed calm, polite, her military composure unshaken. But the officer's tone grew sharper, louder. Neighbors peeked through their curtains. A sense of unease filled the air. She could have shouted back, but she didn't. Because Maya knew, sometimes silence speaks louder than anger. Officer Daniel circled the SUV like a predator marking territory. "License and registration," he barked. Maya handed them over without hesitation. Her documents were perfect, yet the suspicion in his eyes didn't fade. "Whose car is this?" he demanded again. "Mine," she replied softly. Her calm confidence seemed to irritate him even more. Within minutes, he ordered her out of the vehicle. Maya complied, firm, dignified, but quietly heartbroken that her uniform, her years of service, meant nothing in that moment. She glanced at her mother's porch just a few feet away. Her mother's trembling hand held the curtain. The neighbors whispered. Maya realized the truth, no rank could protect her from prejudice. And as the officer reached for his radio, calling for backup, Maya whispered to herself, "Not again, not today." By now, 2 more patrol cars had arrived. The street was filled with flashing lights, recording phones, and murmuring voices. Maya stood still, surrounded by officers who didn't ask, didn't listen, only assumed. One of them muttered, "We got a possible stolen vehicle." Maya took a deep breath. "Officer," she said evenly, "you're making a mistake." Daniels crossed his arms, smirking. "We'll see about that." As they handcuffed her, her ID badge slipped from her jacket, a U.S. Army identification card, bearing her photo, her rank, Major General, United States Army. For a split second, silence cut through the noise. One young officer looked stunned, but Daniels waved it off. "Fake," he said. "I've seen better print jobs." Maya's heart sank, not because of the cuffs, but because ignorance was louder than truth. Still, she remained composed. She had one call to make, and it would change everything. In the back of the squad car, Maya stared out at the sky, the same sky she'd once flown under in military operations overseas. She'd served her country with honor, yet here she sat, treated like a criminal for the color of her skin. When Officer Daniels leaned in, she calmly said, "Officer, I need one phone call." He laughed. "You think this is TV?" She met his eyes. "No. This is real life." He handed over the phone, rolling his eyes. Maya dialed a familiar number, direct to the Pentagon's operations desk. "This is General Maya Thompson," she said clearly. The voice on the other end froze. Within seconds, the call was escalated. Names were verified. Protocols activated. And for the first time that day, power shifted, not from anger, but from truth and authority earned through service and sacrifice. Within 10 minutes, a black SUV arrived, but this one bore government plates. A senior Defense Department official stepped out, his expression unreadable. He walked straight to Officer Daniels, who was now visibly nervous. "You have a U.S. Army general in your custody," the official said sharply. "Uncuff her. Now." Daniels stuttered, I didn't know, you didn't care to know," the men interrupted. As the cuffs fell away, Maya simply stood tall, dusting off her sleeves. She didn't gloat, didn't shout. Her silence stung more than any words could. Daniel's hands trembled, realizing the magnitude of his mistake. The official turned to Maya. "General, are you all right?" She nodded slowly. "Physically, yes. But our country still has a lot to heal." The entire neighborhood watched as the truth unfolded. Daniels tried to apologize, but his words were empty. Maya looked at him, not with hatred, but with something far stronger, disappointment. "One day," she said quietly, "you'll understand that respect should come before judgment." She walked toward her mother's porch, each step heavy with quiet grace. Her mother's eyes filled with tears, not of fear anymore, but pride. For the first time, Daniel saw not a suspect, but a woman who'd given her life to defend the same flag on his shoulder. That moment broke something in him, and maybe, just maybe, began to fix something. 2 weeks later, a public apology aired on the local news. The police department promised reform and sensitivity training. But Maya didn't seek revenge or publicity. She returned to her duties, serving with the same strength she always had. When asked why she didn't press charges, she said, "Because change starts with grace, not vengeance." Her story spread far beyond that small street, inspiring millions to look deeper, to see beyond appearances. That day, Maya reminded the world of a simple truth: power isn't in titles or uniforms, it's in how we treat others when we think no one is watching. And sometimes, one calm voice can silence centuries of noise.